Today we are going to learn how to read a map of the United States and locate some geographic features in the United States. To start with, we have a map of North America with the United States circled. This is North America. It includes Florida down here. I just circled it so you could see about where it is in North America. So our country is the United States. Part of North America has Canada to the north of us and Mexico to the south of us. So in North America, there's Canada, the United States, and Mexico. The United States has many mountain ranges, lakes, rivers, oceans, and we're going to learn about a few of them today. So in the United States, we have the Atlantic Ocean on the east side. We live about right here. So if we go to the beach, we visit the Atlantic Ocean. On the other side of the United States is the Pacific Ocean. This is where California is. So we have the Atlantic Ocean to the east and Pacific Ocean to the west. And we have this here to help us know which direction it is. What's this called? Yeah, it's a compass rose. And then we have north, east, south, and west. So as you can see, we have a symbol to help us understand what the Rocky Mountains are and the Appalachian Mountains. And then this blue line in different places shows your rivers. And then these are your lakes. So these are the geographic features that we're going to be learning about today. So first, we're going to talk about the James River. The James River is in our state of Virginia. I always notice Virginia on a map because I think it looks like a triangle. So it helps me be able to find it. I also know it's like in the middle of the East Coast. At the top, we have Maine, and the bottom is Florida, and it seems like it's like right in the middle. Do you guys know what ocean would be right here? Yep, the Atlantic Ocean. That's the ocean that's right near us. So the James River is the longest river in Virginia. If you have ever gone to Jamestown Beach, you have swam in the James River. The James River provides food because people can fish and catch crabs there. Transportation, people are able to travel. And water. It also provides recreation. Recreation means that you are able to go there and enjoy activities outside like fishing and swimming. The James River was named after King James. Virginia was the first colony from England in the United States, and the king at the time was King James. So when settlers came here, they named the James River after their king. The James River was very helpful to early settlers in the same ways that it is for us today. Does this look familiar to you? Then you have been to the James River. I go swimming here a lot in the summer, so this summer you might see me there on a float. You might recognize these rocks. If you've gone to Jamestown Beach, you swim in between these rocky areas, and sometimes the water is very low and you can walk almost all the way out and you still aren't under the water. Sometimes it's deeper. But a lot of us in this area will go to Jamestown Beach to enjoy swimming on the James River. This is the James River in Richmond. When you get to Richmond, the James River is shallow and more rocky. This is a great visual for you to see how long the James River is. You can see that the James River starts here in the area where we live, and it goes almost all the way through the whole entire state of Virginia. So it is the longest river in Virginia. And what's the name of this river? Yeah, the James River. This next river is a river that borders the two countries of Mexico and the United States. So Mexico's right here. So we call it a border. It's like an imaginary line. So you know that when you go into the Rio Grande River, Rio Grande, that you have gone from Mexico to Texas or from Texas to Mexico. So it kind of lets you know that you've traveled between those two areas. In Spanish, they called this the Rio Grande because in Mexico, many people speak Spanish. So they're going to call it the Rio Grande. And the United States, some people call it the Rio Grande, and some people call it the Rio Grande or Grande. So I'm going to call it the Rio Grande. So you can see over on this map that we have Texas, and then here's the Rio Grande, and then Mexico over here. So it's like a border. We know when we get to this river, we've crossed from one place to another. Now, which ocean is it closer to? The ocean on this side. Yep, that is the Pacific. Good job. Here are some pictures for you to see the Rio Grande River so that you can visualize what it looks like. The Rio Grande flows 1,900 miles from Colorado to the Gulf of Mexico. Along the way, it travels through New Mexico and serves as a southern border for Texas between the United States and Mexico. So we had a river over in Virginia, and the name of that river was what? Yes, the James River. And it's by which ocean? Yeah, the Atlantic Ocean. And now we learned about another river, and it's called what? The Rio Grande or Rio Grande. Very good. Our next river is a really important river. This is the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River flows 2,340 miles from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico. So this area right here is called the Gulf of Mexico. It is the longest river in the United States. Here are some pictures of the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River is important today for transportation. Many goods are carried from the middle of the country to New Orleans and into the Gulf of Mexico. So it's important for us to carry goods from one place to another so that we have more goods available. I remember that the Mississippi River is in the middle of the United States and it starts with an M. And Mississippi is a long word, and this is a very long river. Now, we have the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes are to the north. When I was in school, I had to remember all the Great Lakes. So I remember Home, Home, Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. Holmes. Sorry, I forgot the S when I said it at first. So these are the Great Lakes. There are 5 of them. The Great Lakes are located on the border between Canada and the United States. So here we have the United States, and past the Great Lakes is Canada. So they're a border. And here, Ontario and Quebec are parts of Canada. Michigan and Pennsylvania and Ohio are parts of North America. So these are like a border in between. And you can see the line that kind of splits which part is the United States and which part is Canada. Together, they make up the largest freshwater lakes on Earth. 21% of the world's fresh water is held in these Great Lakes. Look how beautiful these 5 lakes are. These Great Lakes are popular recreation areas. Some people like to come here to go powerboating and sailing, and just to enjoy the beaches that stretch along the shore. So again, these are the Great Lakes. They're in the northern part of the United States. There are 5 of them, and they're a border between Canada and North America. Lake Michigan here is the only one of the lakes where the whole entire lake is in the United States. So it's a border between Canada and the United States. Now we're going to move on to some mountain ranges. A mountain range is a series of mountains that are connected together to form a long line of mountains. So this mountain range is the Appalachian Mountains. Some people will call it the Appalachian, whichever one is fine. So you can see that these little mountain symbols help us see that it starts in New York. They go through Pennsylvania, through West Virginia, Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. So they go all the way from Alabama up to New York. Here are some pictures of the Appalachian Mountains. This here is a very popular place where people like to go hiking. It's a mountain called Old Rag. These mountains that are part of the Appalachian Mountains are called ridges because they're pointed at the top. Then we have some mountains that look blue, and those are older and rounded on the top. A lot of people like to go to this area to go hiking. Would you be brave enough to stand off of this cliff after you climb the mountain? Or to sit on this rock? A lot of people also like to go hiking near waterfalls in this area. This area is used for fishing, hiking, mountain climbing, and all other kinds of outdoor activities. On the other side of the United States, on the western side of the United States, we have the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains start in Alaska and go all the way down to New Mexico. Here are some pictures of the Rocky Mountains so you can check out how they look. Interesting fact, Mount Elbert is the highest summit of the Rocky Mountains of North America. The length of the mountain range is 3,000 miles. The nickname for the Rocky Mountains is the Rockies, and there are more than 60 species of animals living in the Rocky Mountains. You could find an elk, a moose, a mule deer, a mountain goat, a bighorn sheep, a cougar, a bobcat, a black bear, a grizzly bear, a gray wolf, a coyote, a fox, and a wolverine, and many more animals. This would be a great place to go hiking. What looks different about these two mountain ranges? Very good. These look much higher, and they're pointed like a triangle on top, and there's a lot more snow and less trees. Now, let's play a quick game. What is the arrow pointing to? Yeah, that's the Rocky Mountains. They're on the east or the west side of the United States. What's this arrow pointing to? There's Mexico and Texas, and it's a river. Yeah, it's the Rio Grande River. That's a border between those two places. What are these called? Yeah, those are the Great Lakes. They're a border between the United States and Canada. What is this river in the middle? Yeah, that's the Mississippi. So if that's the Rocky Mountains, what mountain range is this? Appalachian. Very good. Appalachian is by the Atlantic. And what is that river in the state of Virginia? That's the James River. You did a great job learning about our geography today. Come back tomorrow for some riddle games to practice our geographic features.